Hello, good evening, Tribuners. Welcome back with me, Mutiara, in Indonesian News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here, the complete news. The first news is, two Indonesian National Armed Forces soldiers died as a result of an armed criminal group attack. Two of the best soldiers of the Indonesian National Army Navy were flown in from Mozes Kilangin Airport, Timika, Mimika Regency, Papua on Monday, March 28, 2022. Deputy Head of Information for Kodam 17 Cendrawasih, Lieutenant Colonel Infantry Chandra Kurniawan said the two bodies were released by the commander of the 17th Cendrawasih military area, Major General of the Indonesian National Army Teguh Moji Angkasa. It is known that Marine Second Lieutenant Muhammad Iqbal and Private Marine Wilson Anderson here died in a gun battle with the armed criminal group in Kenyam District, Mimika Regency, Papua on Saturday, March 26, 2022. The body of Private Marine Wilson Anderson here was dispatched using an Indonesian Air Force aircraft, while the body of Marine Lieutenant Muhammad Iqbal used Lion Air Boeing plane bound for Kendari via Makassar. The ranks of the Indonesian National Navy were asked to fly the flag at half mast for 3 consecutive days as a form of condolence and respect for the two Marine Corps soldiers who died in Duga. The flag hoisting at half mast took place from Monday, March 28 to Wednesday, March 30, 2022 in all headquarters and posts of the Indonesian Navy and Indonesian National Armed Forces. The order came from the Chief of Staff of the Indonesian Navy, Admiral Yudo Margono of the Indonesian National Armed Forces. The Chief of Staff of the Indonesian National Armed Forces of the Navy also ordered his staff in Indonesian Navy to hold an occult prayer and joint prayer for the two Marine Corps soldiers of the Indonesian Navy who died after being attacked by an armed criminal group on Saturday, March 26, 2022. An armed criminal group led by Egyanus Kogoya attacked the Muara and Coastal Task Force Battalion 3 Marine Corps of the Indonesian National Army Navy guarding the Lower Quarry Post, Kenyam District, Nduga, Papua, Saturday. The attackers fired grenades from two directions, namely from behind the market and the direction of the Alguru River at around 5 p.m. local time. 35 Indonesian Navy Marine Corps soldiers fired back and chased the attackers. The task force commander then ordered 2 Trisulatins led by Captain Mar Ari Mahendra and Second Lieutenant Mar Pujo Pratikno respectively to assist the troops at the Lower Quarry Post. As a result of the incident, the soldiers of Indonesian Navy Marine Corps, namely Second Lieutenant Iqbal and Pratu Mar Wilson Anderson, here were killed, while 2 others were in critical condition and 6 other soldiers were slightly injured. The next news comes from Kupang. A number of housewives are still looking for packaged cooking oil at the price of 14,000 rupiah. After the revocation of the highest retail price on the 16th of March 2022, there are still a number of residents in Kupang City who are looking for packaged cooking oil at a price of 14,000 rupiah for 1 liter. The revocation of the highest retail price has indeed made the stock of cooking oil of various brands stable again, but with a selling price of up to 28,000 rupiah for 1 liter. Ninda, one of the housewives as well as a snack entrepreneur in Kupang City, is still looking for cheap cooking oil for smooth business and household consumption. Ninda, when met by Kupas Ninda, when met by postkupang.com at the Ramayana Mall Kupang supermarket, admitted that she did not know what policies the government had taken so far until the highest retail price of 14,000 rupiah of cooking oil was revoked. He himself had been traveling around Kupang city all day looking for cooking oil under the price of 20,000 rupiah until she arrived at the Ramayana Mall Kupang supermarket. Not only Ninda, several women from Maulava and Opoi who came to the supermarket also hoped to get cheap cooking oil with a price range that was not much different before the scarcity occurred. Ninda admitted that she had visited various shops that day, such as Glory Store in Opura villages, sold in Kuanino village, as well as Dutalia supermarket in Osapa village. According to her, the current price of 1 liter of oil from 25,000 to 28,000 rupiah is indeed difficult for traders like her. Even though oil stocks are easy to find nowadays, she said that the price still seems to overwhelm small entrepreneurs. Expensive prices like this can also evict sellers. If sellers don't sell well, then traders cannot get their capital back and make a profit. For this reason, she constantly goes in out of shop and supermarket looking for any cooking oil that is still selling for under 20,000 rupiah. The next news comes from Medan. Traffic accident involving 2 trucks in Sragi. The traffic accident occurred on the Medan-Tebingtinggi public road 62 to 63 kilometers to be precise in front of the Seirampa toll gate, Hamlet 6, Seirampa village, Seirampa sub-district, Serdang Begadai or Sragi Regency. As a result, 1 person died and 1 person was seriously injured. This incident occurred on Saturday, March 26, 2022 at approximately 20 minutes past 3 p.m. Sragi Resort Police Chief Police Grand Commissioner Adjutant Ali Mahfud confirmed the accident. The man with 2 jasmines on his shoulders said the victim who died was Sahat Purba, 40 years old, the driver of a box-called diesel truck with the police number BK 9493AQ, a resident of Tarutung Street, Huta Barangan Village, Sibolga City, while the seriously injured was M. Faisal, 30 years old, a tanker truck driver with the police number BL 8923AK, resident of Beringin Street, K. Jati Utomo, North Binjai District. According to information received, the truck driven by Sahat Purba and 1 passenger MC Hombing, age 48, and the same resident drove from Medan to Tebingtinggi. Arriving at the location, tried to overtake the truck in front of him. Unfortunately, he did not pay attention to the truck driven by M. Faisal with 1 passenger, Randy Arifin, also at the same address as M. Faisal, who came in the opposite direction. As a result, the right front of the 2 trucks directly collided and wrecked. Sahat Purba suffered injuries to his right and left legs. He died at the scene. Meanwhile, M. Faisal was injured in the legs, hand, and chest, both of whom were taken to the Kampung Pon Melati Hospital. Meanwhile, Randy Arifin and MC Hombing suffered minor injuries and were only receiving outpatient treatment. As a result of this incident, the cold diesel truck driver died and the tanker truck driver suffered serious injuries and was treated at the Melati General Hospital in Pon Village. The next news is, residents in Martapura are flooded. It has been raining for a long time in Martapura, the capital of Banjar Regency, South Kalimantan Province, on Sunday, March 22, 2022. On-site monitoring, a number of residential areas in the lowlands were flooded. The head of Tanjung Rema village, Sahtam, said that around 80 houses of his residents on Darussalam Street, Aman Alley, and the adjoining alley have been submerged. Floods also submerged residential areas in Disbun Alley, Pangeran Abdurrahman Street, Keraton Village, Martapura City. The settlement behind the Martapura Dua Health Center was submerged as high as 20 centimeters until the water seeped into the Pesayangan village area. Residents suspect that the flood water that dampened their homes was the result of the overflowing flow of the Breman River, or formerly known as Handil Japan. The Secretary of West Pesayangan Village, Muhammad Mukhtar, admitted that his house in the living room had been flooded. According to him, about 27 houses in the neighborhood of Pesayangan Bar Village, 3 neighborhood units were flooded. Access routes belonging to village in a number of alleys were submerged, including the yard of Pesayangan Bar Village Head Office on Railroad Berkat Alley. On Cepaka Street from Flamboyant Alley, used chairs were installed as sign for no passing for 4-wheeled motorized vehicles up to the T-junction of Melati Street. Meanwhile, Melati Street from the village of Tunggul Irang Ilir to Tunggul Irang Ulu, Tunggul Irang Bincau Muara is like a small river. The chief executive of the Banjar Regency Regional Disaster Management Agency, Ahmad Solhan, said that his members continue to update disaster data. According to him, based on reports from Disaster Management Operation Control Center member of the Banjar Regency Regional Disaster Management Agency who checked it in the field, there was indeed an increase in the surface water discharge of the Martapura River. However, regarding the number of submerged houses, Solhan has not stated the exact number. This is because members are still collecting data in the field. According to Solhan, the flooding that submerged the resident housing has not disrupted their activities and has not forced residents to evacuate. The next news comes from South Sumatra. 2 members of a thieves gang died in a raid by the police. 2 suspected members of a gang of bandits with heavyweights died in a shootout with their hiding place was raided by the ad hoc team, the Criminal Investigation Unit of the Musirawas Resort Police on Sunday, March 22, 2022 in the morning at around 10 minutes past 2 a.m. The criminals hid in a cafe hut on a hill located in Bandung Raya, Sukaraya Village, Lakitan Tengah Trip District, Ulu Terawas, Musirawas Regency on Sunday, March 22, 2022 around 10 minutes past 2 a.m. in the morning. During the raid, the suspects who were in the lodge were shot dead and another suspect was shot. Meanwhile, from the police, 1 member was shot but was not injured. Because the bullets fired by one of the suspects from inside the hut could be restrained by the bulletproof armor worn by the officer during the raid. The head of the Musirawas Reserve Police Grand Commissioner Adjutant Ahmad Gusti Hartono, accompanied by the head of the Police Commissioner Adjutant Criminal Investigation Unit, Dedi Rahmat Hidayat, revealed that the suspect who died was M. Novian Effendi, alias Sul, 43 years old, having his address at Tebingtinggi Market, 4 Lawang Regency. Then Marledi is 43 years old, having her address at Bernai Village, Sarolangun District, Sarolangun Regency, Jambi Province. Meanwhile, the suspect who was shot in the ledge is Sugianto, 34 years old, having his address at Batu Raja Baru Village, Tebingtinggi District, 4 Lawang Regency. It was explained that the suspects were a theft gang with wakes that the officers wanted. From the result of the investigation, the suspects were involved in cases of theft by wake in 5 locations. And also it is the 21 in search of person police report in the jurisdiction of the Musirawa Reserve Police. Even from the result of the examination carried out, it is known that these suspects have also acted in 6 locations within the jurisdiction of the Musi Banyu Asin Reserve Police, It was explained that the suspect used two motorbikes to act and targeted resident houses on the side of the road. Their target were motorized vehicles, both two-wheel motorcycle and cars, and valuables in the victim's house. When in action, the perpetrator always carried homemade firearms and sharp weapons. Perpetrators carry these weapons to arm themselves if found out by their victim and do not hesitate to injure their victims if caught in the act of stealing. And the next news comes from Lombok. Loang Balok brave pilgrimage tradition ahead of the Ramadan. That afternoon, the clock showed a 5:30 p.m. The pilgrims of Loang Balok Cemetery were still busy. These pilgrims come from various areas outside the city of Mataram. They come in groups. Empty mineral water bottles measuring 1.5 liters and show flowers are the two items that each pilgrim brings. Upon entering the Loang Balok Cemetery Park area, pilgrims immediately set foot towards the Muslim of Maulana Sheikh Gaus Abdul Razak. For pilgrims who are menstruating or wearing swords are prohibited from entering the tomb area. After removing their footwear, the pilgrims filled the empty bottles that were brought to the water reservoir in the tomb, then put it on the tomb and knelt down to say a prayer around the tomb of the great scholar. All seemed solemn and listening to the chanting of a prayer from one of the group leaders. After praying, the water that has been placed on the grave is then washed on the face while saying the desired intent. Then the flowers that have been brought are sprinkled on the grave. Coming out the tomb area, the pilgrims then made a knot from the roots of the banyan tree that dangled low. No wonder the roots of the banyan tree in the Loang Balok Tomb Park are filled with ties. The Loang Balok Tomb is one of the destinations for pilgrims from various regions in Lombok, West Nusa Tenggara. This tomb is always crowded every major Muslim holiday, such as ahead of Ramadan, the Eid tradition of Topat, Maulid, to other Islamic holidays. This tomb is always crowded because it is a religious tourist attraction. In addition to tombs in this area, there are also beaches and parks. After the pilgrimage, the group will usually take a trip to a park or beach in this area. Pilgrims usually bring their own provisions from their respective homes. And the last news is, the road connecting Sidrap Regency and Wajo Regency collapsed. The road connecting Sidrap Regency and Wajo Regency in Kampale Village, Duapitu District Sidrap Regency, South Sulawesi collapsed on Friday, March 25, 2022. At first, residents showed that the construct road was cracked on Thursday, March 24, 2022. However, the next day, the road looked slanted and collapsed on the right side. Kampale Sidrap Village Secretary Sudirman said that on Friday, residents could still pass on the construct road. It is said that the road again collapsed on Saturday, March 26, 2022 at 2 o'clock a.m. The subsidence was getting worse with a depth of about 3 meters and a length of approximately 20 meters. Sudirman said, due to the collapse of this road, there were 100 families who were in danger of being isolated. He said that before the road collapsed too badly, their houses had been demolished and moved. According to Sudirman, the collapse of the road is thought to be due to the erosion of river water not far from the location. He also hoped that the Pompeman Jeneberang River Basin Center would be able to go directly to the field and see the current road condition. Meanwhile, the head of the Dua Pitua sector police, Kamal, has warned local residents to even more vigilant. Well, that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.